What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and today we're going to be talking about a wild report that recently surfaced about future Modern Warfare 2 content, what's being saved for COD 2023, and even more. Definitely stay tuned. But before we jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, drop a like, and let me know down below in the comment section, will you be buying Call of Duty 2023 if it has a bunch of cut content from Modern Warfare 2, or you feel ripped off to the point where you're like, you know what, I'm just going to pass on this and wait for Black Ops 2024. Let me know how you feel about the future of COD, at least in terms of your wallet, down below in this video's comment section. As of a couple of days ago, it was brought to the community's attention that a certain individual over on Twitter with a near empty account known as Akita went ahead and posted a tweet longer, and this person is claiming to be a QA tester and did provide a ton of information about the future of COD 2.0. So as a big disclaimer, take it all with a grain of salt, could be a troll, but a lot of folks in the community were talking about this tweet longer, so I figured I'd go over the information and give my thoughts on what all of this is. Again, this person could be a LARP, could be a straight troll, might not be an actual fire QA tester or whatever this person claims to be, so take that as you may, but if the information is accurate, then it is very interesting to break down. Usually I would dissect a lot of the information from a big tweet longer like this and make separate videos about each mode or topic, but because all of this could be in the same bag of just made up nonsense, I figured we just go over all of this here in this one big video, and I do have timestamps down below for those that are interested. So Task Force 141 leakers did go ahead and break down a lot of this tweet longer into individual tweets so it's easier to read. First off, according to the leak, Raid 3 will take place in Las Almas, featuring Price, Gaz, Alejandro, and even Rudy. So that does kind of check out if the Season 3 leaks thus far are legitimate and up to date, and the current leaks that have popped up are that Valeria will be the focus of the season. She will get an intro cinematic cutscene. She is the Battle Pass operator, and Alejandro is also going to be a playable operator at some point in the season, maybe via a bundle or some other challenge. So if the season is Sicario or Mexican themed, then the third raid taking place in Las Almas makes a lot of sense. Again, this could be made up, but we also saw Alejandro and Rudy kind of back-to-back, side-by-side as partners over in the campaign, so that's kind of cool. It's unclear what that means for Farah or Alex. Will they have a different role for the remainder of the post-launch story here in Modern Warfare 2, since clearly they're going to be going after Hadir now, who is essentially the new Khaled al-Assad and is the one that's running Al-Qatala, so I'm assuming they'll be doing something to go after him, to meet with them, or something of that nature, while the rest of Task Force 141 is going to be meeting up with Alejandro, possibly going after Valeria for whatever the reason is. I'm interested in that if this is going to be the story of our third raid. But I'm sure one of the 4 characters listed there are going to be talking to us via comms, unless this will be a 4-player raid. That would be badass, but I highly doubt it. Now, the next thing that was written is that the Las Almas Battle Royale map will release alongside Sledgehammer's Call of Duty 2023. It does look like the original plan was to release that big BR map during Modern Warfare 2's life cycle. I think that would have made the most sense, unless the original plan anyway was to release Las Almas in 2023 or fall of 23 to kind of release alongside a big expansion, the start of a year 2 for Modern Warfare 2. So either way, the release date might not have changed for Las Almas, but instead of it being bundled with, you know, a 6th or 7th season of Modern Warfare 2, it's going to be coming out with maybe launch or season 1 of Sledgehammer's new Project Jupiter. Now, I think that's fine, but I'm just really curious how they're going to market this new Call of Duty from Sledgehammer, right? As we talked about on the podcast, how do you market something that's essentially Modern Warfare 2.5? Especially when a lot of the fan feedback and community feedback just wasn't listened to by Infinity Ward. How do you market Sledgehammer's take on the base of Modern Warfare 2? Do you say, oh, Sledgehammer will listen to the feedback, they're going to change this with the mini-map, or Dead Silence, or whatever in Warzone? I really wonder how this is all going to pan out, but once again, Las Almas has been a leaked BR map for many, many months now. All the points of interest surfaced, and we know Favela is one of those sections, so I'm curious how that'll also affect what multiplayer maps that game also ends up getting. Will they also be pulled from Las Almas? I mean, hell, Shoe House is also in Las Almas, so I wonder if that map's going to be a point of interest in this new Las Almas Battle Royale map. Now, the next thing that was said is that COD 2023 is basically, as we thought, Modern Warfare 2 COD content. It's just being polished by Sledgehammer, not really developed as it was already completed. Season 6 is not happening. All that content is going into COD 2023. So what I was hoping for at first is that whatever was going to be planned for a Season 6 just gets pulled into Season 5 to make that season a little bit bigger in terms of DLC. But I guess that's better than just scrapping the content entirely and doing nothing with it. If they're going to move that into launch content for the new COD, I guess that means the new COD could be launching with a healthy amount of content for multiplayer, for Warzone, whatever other modes are going to be offered. So I guess that's cool to hear about now. But the thing with that as well is that if the content is just being polished by Sledgehammer, was already kind of in production or somewhere close to playtesting from Infinity Ward, then does that mean that Sledgehammer will have a bit of a quote-unquote head start for that game's DLC season, so maybe now they'll be able to make sure they get season 1 through 5 or 1 through 6 off the ground even sooner, and those seasons will have a healthy amount of content because they didn't have to worry too much about the launch content since that was already primarily done by Infinity Ward. Let's see how that ends up working out, and I also wouldn't be shocked if, again, Treyarch ends up working on the ranked mode for that game's multiplayer, whatever that's going to be like. But that could, of course, line up with the fact that a bunch of remasters as a part of a greatest hits pack were already leaked out from Modern Warfare 2. Maybe that was always going to be planned as the Year 2 paid expansion, but now that's just become launch or seasonal content for the next COD. So either way, Sledgehammer does have a bit of a head start since Infinity Ward got a lot done for the 2023-2024 content already. Now, it gets even crazier. Apparently, playtesters have played classic maps in builds of Modern Warfare 2. Those maps include Chinatown, Quarry, Terminal, and even more. Some Treyarch maps have been given the Modern Warfare rework and were tested, and those maps were Grid, Summit, and Aftermath, which is wild. Most new maps are pretty average. There is map based on the last mission of the single-player campaign. So, a bit to dissect from that. First off, Chinatown, Quarry, and Terminal, I mean, those are obviously classic maps from 2009, so that does make sense considering the rumor that we're going to get a greatest hits pack anyway. I mean, that greatest hits pack might have just been turned into, well, all the maps are going to be for COD 2023, so there's that. But then Treyarch maps being tested out with the Modern Warfare rework, right? Safe spaces, doors, whatever that is. That I question, right? Is that because they're going to be planning on remastering a bunch of classic Black Ops maps for the next Black Ops games DLC season? Or is that rumor still fairly legitimate, which does suggest that we're going to be getting a catalog of Treyarch, Sledgehammer, and Infinity Ward maps added to COD 2023, which I guess does make sense if the game is celebrating 20 years of the Call of Duty series. So there you have it. Some Black Ops remasters might be coming, so that's interesting. And the person also wrote most new maps are pretty average, so that's the thing, right? I guess we are going to see quote-unquote new maps in the next COD, and they'll probably be pulled from the single player, and apparently they're just average, but it's pretty soon to tell. I'd say let's judge the new maps whenever we play them in the multiplayer beta, which is going to be happening in October. But next up, Verdansk was going to be brought back for a limited time event, but that has since been scrapped. Not sure I believe that bit. So with that one, I could kind of see that being true. I mean, they saw the outcry for Verdansk to return. Everybody out there is asking for it because they have nostalgia goggles on. I'm not trying to say that Verdansk was a horrible map, but it certainly wasn't as well received when it was in its prime or when Verdansk 84 was out, in comparison to what's being said right now, right? Everyone says it's the greatest map of all time, second coming of Christ. It's when Warzone was actually fun. So I'm sure Activision has thought about finding a way to bring Verdansk back. Not sure why they canceled whatever that limited time event was, but either way, Verdansk is coming back through Warzone Mobile at some point whenever it globally launches. Unless you can play it right now in your region, it's still not available in North America or even the UK. Night versions of Almas and Modern Warfare 2 maps are also completed, but no word if they will come. So that just sounds like the best filler content to drop in between major seasons. In my opinion, as I said before, what they should do in between major seasons or even in between a main season and a mid-season update is drop filler stuff like that every other week, right? Do your playlist updates, add your new bundles in, but also add in sections from the BR map for ground war or little pieces of the multiplayer maps for gunfight or night and weather variants of the maps that are already in-game. Drop those in either for a limited time or, you know, in the regular rotation. That's perfect, but that's not content I would want to see at the start of a season or marketed on a roadmap. I just hope they end up dropping that at some point whenever things get dry again. That just makes the most sense to me. But then this person said, Raid for Season 6 and Year 2 of Modern Warfare 2 have now been scrapped and used for levels for the single player of COD 2023. Can see that being true. So they already confirmed from the get-go before the first raid even came out that we were only going to get 5 raids total, which gave us all the impression that we're only going to get 5 seasons total. So with that, I understand why they had to do that, but it is cool to hear that there was a 6th season plan and probably a 6th raid. That would have been cool because obviously with the Activision data breach, 6 seasons of content were laid out there and we don't know what happened to that 6th season. Apparently it is scrapped, but it does look like they had to devote those resources to the campaign of COD 2023, which I totally understand. But then some story-related material. Vladimir Makarov will appear in the raids. The leak suggests that Vladimir Makarov and Hadir, who is Al-Assad, are working together, but I believe this is false as Hadir wants 141 to work with him against the ultra-nationals of Russia. There could be a plot twist there. Again, it's all theorizing as of right now as to what side Adir is really on. If he is new Al-Assad and is running Al-Qatala, does he truly want to form an alliance with 141, or is he tricking them because he is working with Makarov and has a bigger plan in mind? That's a big question. The person also said Yuri will make an appearance in the raids. Again, take it with a grain of salt, might not be true. Now, there are some story-related spoilers that this person also wrote. Please click off of this timestamp if you don't want to hear that, and if you guys do care about keeping the story as a surprise as the raids do release, so be warned. Now, some extra information that wasn't included in the original tweet from Task Force 141 leakers is that there are some campaign missions that are basically done, and one of the missions that this person played was extremely similar to the Davis family vacation mission from the original Modern Warfare 3. He said that their favorite mission was a mission where you are driving down a highway in Berlin, chasing and shooting enemies, similar to Violence and Timing, except you won't be jumping out of the car. There are missions in the UK, Germany, Al-Mazrah, Urzikstan, and the USA. Mainly special ops, no cartel related stuff. Sorry, no Valeria. Shepard is in the game. He's considered MIA, but it won't be like Modern Warfare 2 where he was working with Makarov the whole time. That was, of course, the plot twist from 2009. References to the Four Horsemen throughout the story. Look up COD 4 Horsemen if you don't know what that is. We talked about that in length here on the channel before. And yeah, they were doing another year of watered down Spec Ops, which is fairly shocking. They also said they played an updated version of Survival. It was supposed to be added in Modern Warfare 2, and that was around in December. You pick a random multiplayer map and have to survive multiple waves of enemies. We played it on the highway map, and it was pretty fun, not gonna lie. You start with the pistol and have to purchase care packages that give random guns, then go to gunsmith stations to purchase attachments. There was change in time mid-game, so it started like in the evening, and then it became night, and the map got darker. You have to be lucky and get the night goggle stuff from a care package. We told them the stuff was annoying and that it should just be buyable. Not sure if this will ever actually release, but it was fun. No additional perks, field upgrades, or mechanics were added in. So that right there would go ahead and scream that this is essentially a Modern Warfare 2.5. Now, that's just about it for the information about Infinity Ward and Sledgehammer related content. There is some stuff in regards to COD 2024, the next Black Ops game, zombies. We'll be covering that in a separate video, but the last thing I'll say is that wow, I mean, I'm not really surprised about a lot of this. I think it checks out based on the rumors and leaks that have surfaced thus far from other insiders, other scoopers. I think it all makes sense, but in case this is all fabricated, just keep that in mind, and hopefully some surprises do get announced in regards to the future of Modern Warfare 2's life cycle. I'm interested to see how they market that next COD, though. As I've been saying many, many times now, I really want to see how they're going to do it. That's what I'm most curious about as of right now. We know Treyarch will knock it out of the park with their next Black Ops game, but I'm just curious how they will go ahead and say, okay, we're selling Modern Warfare 2.5 for $70, coming out November 10th. Here's why you should buy it, right? I guess the big selling point is probably going to be that it celebrates 20 years of COD and has a bunch of remasters, but if it does have a bunch of content from Modern Warfare 2, that's going to piss some people off. So I wonder what your thoughts are on this, and please let me know down below in the comments. But that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Leave our thoughts down below in the comment section. What are your thoughts on this very odd and random leak that came out from a supposed QA tester that put out a twit longer? How are you feeling about the future content for multiplayer and even Warzone, plus everything else we discussed? Really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everybody.